Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and award season is underway. The first carpet of the year is the National Board Review, and we're chatting with all of the honorees and presenters, so get ready for a great night behind the velvet rope. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and the beginning of a busy award season for you, Casey Affleck. Congratulations, the National Board Review. Why do you think this movie has connected with so many people the way that it has?
Well, you know, I've been asked that before, and it's kind of hard to say. It has to do with Kenny Lonergan's writing. He has a very, very specific vision. All of his movies have affected people in the same way. That really reaches people in a way that, you know, you hope all the movies that you do, but they almost never do. And so this one feels pretty special.
This is simply the weirdest, most surreal, most ridiculous year of my life. It feels like it's been, I don't know. I mean, it's still like seeing Amy Adams and
You've got Amy Adams, Naomi Harris.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're in line with these people, and you just got out of acting school.
I know, yeah.
When you saw Casey's performance, did you know that you had something special happening at that moment?
Yeah, I did. I mean, when we were rehearsing, and then just our first day of shooting, the first day was the scene in the lawyer's office where he learns he's going to become his nephew's guardian, and it was just, the very first day was just magical. He was so focused and so wrangling with the situation and so interested and so concerned that it was going well and that I was getting what I wanted, and was there another way to do it, and should he maybe try this or that, and then just take after take was fantastic, and I knew we were just in great shape.
Talk to me about this honor and winning Best Actress for Arrival.
It's amazing, actually, just to be in New York, which is a place I always sort of dreamed about growing up, and to get to be here, and the National Board of Review has such a deep history here, so it's wonderful, actually, to get to win this. I was so surprised when I found out.
I know how much Boston means to you. What were you hoping to tell with these people's story and to revisit this tragedy? What did you want people to take away?
Well, you know, every time you turn on the news, there's something horrific happening somewhere in the world. But, you know, they're not showing the stories of love and strength and resiliency as much as they should. And this tragedy turned out to be such an inspirational thing. So many people rallied together, and my community made me so proud to be a Bostonian. And this message of love needs to be promoted and seen and heard as often as possible.
One of my favorite movies of the year, Hell or High Water, I've got to tell you. When you make a movie like this, it became essentially the sleeper hit of 2016. Why do you think this story and these characters connected to people the way they did?
Well, I think it starts with the script, and this script had such authenticity. That's what I thought when I read it, that this guy Taylor Sheridan, the writer, he really knew what he was talking about. And also, I've been hearing from a lot of people that it's very reflective of these times. You know, people financially really stressed out, and this idea, one of the themes that I found very interesting, you know, what are the consequences of dealing with, you know, looking for only your self-interest, and whether you're a bank or a poor rancher or an oil company, and what are the consequences of that?
You're presenting tonight at the National Board of Review to this little-known actor named Jeff Bridges. Yeah. Quite a career this guy's established, right?
Yeah.
What does he like to work with? Because you guys made one of my favorite movies of the last decade. What was he actually like personally?
Heaven, like, you know, amazing. I learned so much from him, actually. I was just thinking about that today when I was writing the speech. I thought he was a real leader on that movie. Scott Cooper, who directed it at the time, hadn't made any movies before. And Jeff kind of lifted him up and said, this is our leader. We're all going to get behind you. But Jeff was like really a leader too. He kind of taught me how to do that.
How rewarding is it that people are seeing Catherine's story and what she meant, not only to space travel, but to history in general?
Well, Katherine Johnson, Mary Jackson, and Dorothy Vaughan are all highlighted in the film. But what people don't realize is that there were both women and black and white women, and we're just telling the story of these three. So It's very rewarding. It's very rewarding that it's being heralded in such a way and that it's being received in such a way. I'm humbled by it.
You know, the movie's about a character's journey to find himself, and I do think when the movie concludes, he's closer to figuring out who he is. And I think that in a certain way is hopeful, but it's realistic, you know, which is what I really set out to make, a very productive film that I think people can walk away from, as you said, and feel like I've experienced something, so that when they encounter someone like our characters in real life, they will realize this is a full human being. You know, I should engage with him.
Talk to me about Naomi and Mahershala. Not shabby, right?
Not shabby at all. I mean, they gave of themselves. You know, neither one of them is in the full film. You know, but they brought their full selves to set every day.
Why do you think people, this many years later, still care about OJ Simpson?
It's a good question. I think on the one hand, people care because I think there's a little bit of an unresolved nature to how that trial went in 94, 95 in terms of what people believe or think actually happened versus how, like, what happened, you know, with the trial itself. And so I think there's always been intrigue on that level. But to be honest, I think a lot of people are frankly fatigued. But I think for me personally, what is interesting to me is that it's not about OJ. It's about all these other things that created him as a character, but also sort of were brought to bear during that trial in 1994 and 95. And it's a profoundly and fundamentally American story.
Especially with an animated movie, to be able to bring that much heart to it, what is that process like?
Well, I think the process, whether it's animated or whether it's live action, is always the same. When you're telling a story, paradoxically, the more intimate, the more personal you make something, the more universal it becomes. And so in order to make a movie like this that we wanted to resonate with people and with families, we kind of had to dig into our own experiences, to kind of go back to our own childhoods and think about the things that we went through and really lean into that and try to say something that would resonate with people. And that's ultimately what we did.
You got a National Board of Review Award. This has got to be crazy being a young actress.
Yes, it is very crazy because it's like, this is a big award for me, and I'm at such a young age. So I think I should get like bigger awards, and I just want to prove that I belong here, and I want to get more awards.
The National Board of Review. How cool is it to be here? This has got to be such a mind-blowing honor.
Well, it got bigger when I looked back at the films that had won the Freedom of Expression Award, and they are people who I have aspired to their work. I have been filled with incredible respect at their courage and bravery making films. So to be in that school of fish is really amazing for me.